returned with the final streams of Sangatsu no Line Season 2. And Twitch actually kicked in really fast that time. Yeah, so today we actually are getting, possibly, if Crunchyroll release them, we are getting both episodes, so episodes 21 and 22. So I believe it's meant to finish today anyway, but I don't know, but either way we're getting the final 2 episodes. So yeah, it's extremely sad actually, because as all you know, it's my favorite show of all time. So to see it go, it's hard. It's a really hard thing to see go again, because I saw it go last year and I was like, don't go again, please don't go again. And there's been no season 3 announcement, which I thought might happen, but it didn't happen. So that's a possibility for later on, I guess, because I believe it's 130 something chapters currently, so I would imagine they've got enough from a core, but that means then we've got to wait at least 3 years for season 4. So possibly I think Shaft are actually kind of waiting it out to actually get enough content to actually do season 3 and then 4 afterwards. So yeah, either way, we are here today to actually cover episode 21 of Sangatsu no Line, which is a penultimate episode, which actually I think covers 88 and 89 of the manga. And as we know, last week's episode actually was extremely comfy. Like, very comfy actually, very cathartic actually in a way. It was really nice. I was like, oh, what do you know? A really nice episode to actually kind of go into the final kind of stretch of the series. I thought it was actually a really, really neat thing to do, because as we know, this show's quite heavy sometimes. To actually get that kind of break in between is actually really nice. So, either way, that's what's happening today. That actually rhymes, 10 points for me. So either way, that's what we're doing today. So, I'll put on the old Twitter that I've gone live for Sangatsu. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with episode 34? 44, because there's no 44 yet on Crunchyroll. So I'd imagine there's probably going to be like maybe a 30-minute break in between. So once this is actually over and once we actually watch this episode, I believe episode 44 would be out. That's how I'm imagining things to go. I have no idea, but that's how I'm imagining things to go. Hopefully it does go that way, because that'd be kind of neat. But again, I actually have no idea. So either way, let's get this show on the old road. So in 3, 2, 1, let's begin this episode now. What would have been neat was to bring back the old opening. Like, that would have been kind of neat. Just bring back opening 1, because I actually really like opening 1. It's my favourite one. It's actually opening 3. I always feel like this one's kind of like that. Is that one that kind of tells you there's been a lot of change in the series itself? That's what I kind of like, because again, we've had the kind of quite very somber openings, but this one's actually kind of drumming in the idea of, okay, a lot has actually happened, a lot has changed in the series. So I quite like it for that reason. I think. That's just me at least. Either way, I do not like the idea of this show ending today, because it's my favourite show of all time. And I love it. I just don't want to see it go again. But alas. I do believe we actually get the chapter with Grandpa this week as well. Like, one of the best ones. Because of how sweet it actually is. It's one of the ones I've actually been waiting for, because it's actually amazing, that chapter. So I think that's actually this week's chapter as well. I might be wrong, but I swear I saw it on the Twitter. It is this chapter. It is this chapter. I could have sworn it was this episode we get this chapter. Yeah, I don't understand why no one's licensed it yet. It's one of those ones I would have thought they would have got quite a quick license. Which is really sad. Don't know why no one would license this manga, but I mean I don't know. I like the fact that Ray's changed quite a bit, but he still does those little small things that kind of reminds us of his past. I quite like that about him. It's quite a somber moment, but it shows you that he hasn't kind of grown out of certain things he's actually kind of done in the past. Man, I don't want this show to end. Come on, don't end on me. Why does this show have to end today? It's so adorable, this show. It really is, because it kind of, it's one of those ones, and the next chapter as well, it kind of ends what's happened before. To actually kind of start a new beginning. It's actually it's kind of great because of it, because it kind of acknowledges what's happened beforehand, but actually saying, look, it's a new beginning now, it's a new start. It has a really sweet ending, really, as well. That chapter has a really, really sweet ending. Oh, so 44 actually is out. That's sweet then. Sweet. I thought originally it might actually be one of those things. It might be even really delayed, or it might come out afterwards. But I'm glad it's not actually delayed. Oh man, I'm tearing up. Oh man. Whew. Jesus Christ, my heart. Oh boy. Oh boy. That was really... Jesus Christ, the ending. They're going for 97.89. Huh. Yeah, didn't I read this? I read this bit. I thought it was came like maybe a chapter later. I thought, wait a second. Was this 89 or was this 90? I couldn't remember. Because if I remember correctly, have they shifted the... Am I going insane? But they shifted the whole chapter with Takahashi actually leaving. Oh, right, okay. I get you. Is Takahashi's leaving before this chapter or after this chapter? That's what I'm trying to figure out, because I was like, is it or isn't it? I don't think it is, actually, more I think about it. I think they actually have kept it the same way. Oh, right, okay, I get you. Yeah, so it is next episode then. Alright, that's fine then. Have I seen the art style before? Oh, so it is it's next to chapter 89. Huh. That's really different. I mean, I don't mind it because the actual pacing is quite the pacing doesn't feel as if it's kind of destroyed because of it. It actually works a lot better, I think. Only because it kind of warranted after what happened with the chapter beforehand anyway, so the pacing does work actually, I think. Anyway, so yeah. Let's talk about this episode for a little bit, because this episode actually was freaking brilliant. It really was. It's one of those ones that it neatly ties up a lot of what's happened beforehand, actually kind of then go into a future place as well, which I actually kind of like. Because we've had quite a lot going on. I mean, we had this idea of people leaving, this idea of, like, they won't come back, but it's that whole entire idea that Hina realizes that, look, there's more people here now at this 1 second, so it's actually nothing to worry about. Which I actually really did like, because it kind of just tells you that, look, yeah, people can leave, but you still have those people there in the future that you just met there as well. And so it's kind of neat. I thought it was actually one of those neater things to do, because it is true. We've seen kind of a few characters leave. It was actually kind of a very it's quite a harsh reality as well, because especially with Chiho as well. Chiho's one was the harshest one that actually we had. And we had Noguchi as well, which actually was one of the most saddest ones, because Noguchi is freaking best fam. But what can we do? But it kind of reminds you that, look, do not worry, because the future does always look bright, which I actually kind of like, because this anime does have harsh present times, but it always kind of reminds you that, look, do not worry, because in the future it actually will brighten up, which I actually kind of like, because certainly sometimes certain shows might kind of just go for the somber outlook for the whole entirety of its runtime. It sort of makes you go, Christ on the bicycle. Like, you sort of start feeling depressed, like yourself, because you kind of just realize, Christ, there's just no way. It's just like there's no happiness. But this one actually kind of reminds you, like, look, do not worry, there actually is happiness. It's actually one of those things I actually kind of like, because yeah, he has lost quite a few people. Actually, he's going to lose even more people. For actually, when she leaves school, actually kind of goes different school. But it kind of reminds you, look, do not worry, because there's still people there with her at this very given point, at this very one point, which I really do like. Because it doesn't just kind of it doesn't go for a somber look the whole entire time. It kind of gives you that nice little bit of catharsis in the end, which can make you go, oh, okay, that's kind of sweet. That's really sweet, which I actually really do like. But it kind of, in a way, ends the entirety of the series in a way when you think about it, because it hasn't ended the entirety of the series just yet, because you could in theory see that as kind of like a nice little ending, an end point of the whole entire series, because it does really end on a really nice point, especially for Rei's character. But there's still more to come, especially with Hina's character. Actually really does end the entirety of the series. But I think either way, how the chapter went out, it was actually really nice. It's a nice way to kind of conclude what's happened beforehand. Actually then go into the future. Actually looks a lot more brighter. A future actually doesn't look as kind of grim. But yeah, I mean, it's actually even nicer to see Rei's character as well. Rei's character has been one of the greatest things to see his whole entire show so far, because he's been one of those characters which actually really has in theory improved. I mean, as I said during the stream, it's actually one of the scenes, that his character does in theory still evoke those things he did beforehand, which I actually really do like, because it does tell you, look, he's improved, but it's still a long way to go with him. He's not actually kind of got to the very point that you would say, yeah, he's actually completely A-okay. No, he's actually got a long way to go, especially with how he handles certain situations. I mean, he didn't really kind of think, oh Christ, that's actually going to happen once I say that, but it's a nice thing that it actually does remind us of the previous points with his character. It's not as if it's actually kind of been forgotten. He actually still has those things that actually makes him, which is actually kind of really nice. It's one of the more nicest things the series does. It kind of reminds you of the previous points in the characters' lives. Actually kind of make you go, look, yes, I have improved, but I still have those little bits of things that makes them them. Yeah. I actually can speak, because again, certainly other shows can in theory just develop a character and then forget the previous thing, but this one actually reminds you, look, do not worry, that's actually still there. It's just one of those really neat things to do. But yeah, I mean, this episode really was very much like the previous episode last week. It was actually kind of a very comfy episode. It was actually kind of, it was still somber in certain places, especially with Hina's character, but it's one of those things that actually just, it doesn't do too much in the way of actually kind of just ending on a low note, because it kind of reminds you, look, there's actually a lot of improvement with the characters. I actually really do like. So yeah, the future does look bright in this series. It really does. I mean, we haven't got a season 3 announcement, which is actually really freaking sad. Which is actually one of those things I really did want to see. But I mean, I don't mind if they're gonna wait a little while to see some more content. Then that's actually completely a-okay with me. But yeah, I mean, the final episode should be in theory really freaking cool, because the last episode actually will in theory end everything, but this one actually kind of acts as a kind of a start point for the ending. So yeah, I mean, it's a whole wait and see moment and see what happens with the final episode. So yeah, join me in around about 15 minutes. I actually get my hair out my eyes. Join me in around about 15 minutes for the final episode of Sangatsu no Lion Season 2, which is actually episode 44. Man, 22 weeks have already gone already. It feels like yesterday the series actually started, but it hasn't. It's been like 22 weeks. I've actually done 2 terms of university this series has actually been on. Holy crap. It's actually been quite the ride. So yeah, with all that said, for the time being, I've indeed been a driver. If you have enjoyed this whole entire stream on Twitch, then do a follow, because indeed, it does look quite a bit. If you enjoy what I do here on YouTube, and you do want to leave a like, then do the like, because indeed, it does look quite a bit. If you enjoy what I do here on YouTube, and you do want to stay that a little bit longer, then do the sub, because indeed, it does look quite a bit. But until episode 22, I have indeed been a driver, and I'll actually also say my streaming for YouTube actually came back as of yesterday. I actually completely forgot about it. I realised, oh Christ, yeah, I actually can stream again. Holy crap. So what I might do is actually move all my manga over to YouTube and stream all the manga on YouTube, but then stream all of the anime on here. But I think actually kind of like how the encoder works on Twitch more than YouTube, because YouTube kind of destroys certain qualities with the actual video. Well, here doesn't actually do it so much. So what I might do is actually kind of move all anime over to here and actually move all manga back to YouTube. That's how I probably will do it in the future. But I have no idea when I actually will resume manga, because I still got work to do. But hopefully there might just be a grace period where I actually have a little bit more time. But until then, see you guys later. Bye for now.